So let's start with, what did you get out of that Cleveland trip?
I thought it was two really good hockey games. They've got a good team. They've got a ton of skill. They're very good offensively. And we did a good job in both games. We gave ourselves a great chance to win on the road against a good team. It'd been nice to not give up the 6-on-5 goal and get even though we won on Thursday. And then I thought, actually, I think we were probably better on Saturday than we were on Thursday. They got a couple goals that I think we'd like to have back, that they didn't, do enough to earn, I guess. And we missed some chances. I think we hit 3 posts, missed 2 open nets. So finishing those things offensively is important. But, I thought we went on the road and played 2 really good hockey games against a good team. And anytime you give yourself that good of a chance to win, you'll take that.
How did he look over those 2 games?
He looked outstanding. He looked like he hadn't really missed a beat. What I like is sometimes when you come back after an injury, there can be hesitation or in your game. And with Brandon this weekend, he attacked the game. He didn't let the game come to him. He attacked the game. He wasn't hesitant returning from injury. Very aggressive, very assertive, right back on the score sheet. Power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5, like that's impressive with the time he was out. His legs and lungs probably weren't totally there Thursday. You could feel on the bench that he was a little tired, so you're trying to manage his minutes a little bit more. But with the exception to that, I thought he was outstanding.
Also, Marsh and Malone are good examples of making an immediate impact once they return to the lineup after an injury. What about the recovery process is allowing them to do this?
Well, we have a great training staff and a great strength coach. I talk about that a lot here. Our support staff, equipment managers, trainers, strength coach are outstanding. I just can't say enough about how good our staff is. So Michael Desch and Kedron and Snacks, the work that they do with our injured players, and then the rehab process that Craven goes through as our strength coach, the rehab off the ice in the weight room, and then the rehab on the ice. Our guys come back looking game ready, and that's not easy to do. And it's a real credit to our players' work ethic. We've got a lot of guys we intentionally the draft picks are the draft picks, but when we're talking about some guys that aren't the draft picks, we're intentionally looking for culture drivers and workers and guys that have a high work rate. So their work ethic combined with the level of professionalism with our support staff lets the guys come back ready.
Jeremy, those 2 goals on Thursday night's game. What about his skill set is going on right now?
Yeah, he's playing very good. I thought this was his best week of the season, and he's played good all year. So he's defending really hard. He's taking time and space away. He's been physical, so he's been a real good defender. Offensively, he's very talented. Pucks weren't going in as much, but I also think that this weekend he was simpler with the puck. He was making quicker decisions. I think, sometimes when you're struggling offensively and pucks aren't going in, you're not getting points, you want to hold it and you want the play you make to be like a backdoor tap and end up in an assist or a goal or whatever that is. And what he did a really good job of this week is he just made the plays that were available. And he put our forwards in really good positions. He transitioned the puck incredibly well. And when you, as a defenseman, when you make the right decision 8 out of 10 times over and over and over and over in a game, that you're on the ice and you're always going north and you're always playing in the offensive end. And eventually, when you do that enough, scoring chances are going to present themselves. And they did for him. He could have had 4 this weekend with how good he played. So it's a real credit. He stayed with it. He's got a great work ethic. He's been coachable. He's adjusted to simplifying his puck decisions, and he was rewarded, which was nice to see.
This week, Syracuse, Utica, and Toronto. It seems like it's back to that COVID year almost, those familiar opponents. How does that add maybe a little bit more comfortability in your week or familiarity?
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while since we've played them, so that's nice. So they're really good teams. We know how physically demanding the games with Syracuse and Utica are. just very physically demanding teams. Syracuse is quite a bit older. They're an older team. So, we're not going to be fooled by their records. We know how good both those teams are and how hard it is to play both those teams. And then Toronto's in first place, and they're in first place for a reason. They've been excellent all season long. They have a real strong depth of offensive production, both from their blue line and their forward group. They've got a ton of really good players in their lineup. They've had a few older guys they added in, like Shaw's having a big time season for them. So, it's a great week. It's going to be a heck of a challenge. It's going to be fun to be back home, obviously, and play two familiar opponents in Syracuse, Utica, but we'll be challenged physically in those games. And then Toronto obviously is right now the best team in the North Division. So it'll be a really exciting and challenging week.
You talk about how Syracuse is older. How has your young lineup matched up against them so far?
Some nights really well and some nights we've struggled. And that's part of the growing process. But I think that our younger players are taking really good steps. You look at, it's fun, you see last night what Jack and JJ are doing in the NHL right now. And just a year ago, JJ was going through, Jack went through it the year before in the COVID year, but JJ was going through ups and downs and struggles. And, I think that, Kulik and Rosine already have as many or more goals than JJ did at Christmas last year, right? So I think, Kozak is playing, big minutes, 5-on-5 on the penalty kill, out there in big situations defensively. Kisakov is doing great things offensively every night. Always isn't translating to the score sheet, but it's gonna. You can feel it. He was all around the net again on Saturday. And then Rosine and Kulik, they're 14 points each in 20 games as 18, 19-year-olds. That is really demanding to be able to do that. So those guys are adjusting well, and the nice thing we see with all those young players is they're all getting better by the week. They're getting better defensively. They're getting better with how hard they play. They're getting better with their offensive habits. And that's what you want. You want players that are engaged in their development process, so they keep growing as prospects for our organization.